Good day, everyone. Today, I will present the findings of our research entitled Water Consumption and Utilization Practices of Households in Basco, Batanes, Philippines. To begin, my presentation will cover the research rationale, objectives, methods, discussion of results, summary, and some recommendations. Water is the basic resource and commodity used for individual, social, and economic development. And the development, maintenance of locally managed water services, facility, and infrastructure is still a challenge in most rural communities in our country. The rapid population growth, heightened tourism industry results to a significant increase in demand across water sectors. The growth of the tourism industry and its accompanying business establishments, coupled with increasing population, significantly increased the demand for food and water, while production remained limited. In particular, the municipality of Basco is mostly affected since it is dependent on the biggest spring of Mount Iraya watershed as its main source of water supply. And over the years, tapping of groundwater resources through deep wells to supplement water supply in the municipality is being experienced in Basco. For the location of the study, Basco is the capital of Batanes, located at the northernmost part of the Philippines. It has a total land area of 34,691,800 square meter, and the land cover is primarily composed of forests. Second largest is agricultural area, and it is utilized for major crop production such as root crops, rice, corn, vegetables, and other commercial products. The municipality is comprised of 4 urban barangays and 2 rural barangays. It is the most populated among the municipalities of Batanes with 8,579 population. Without proper water resource management, it may affect the watershed since the municipality of Basco depends on the biggest spring of Mount Iraya watershed as their main source of potable and non-potable water supply. So for this study, we sought to identify the water sources in the municipality, to assess the water consumption and utilization of households, and to determine the issues and challenges of water supply provision in Basco. And for this research, we did household survey, key informant interview, and focus group discussion. We also did secondary data gathering in terms of reviewing their existing community profile, their comprehensive land use plan, BPLS, CBMIS, and gathering of other information relevant to the study. And to assess the socioeconomic and socio-demographic characteristics of the respondents, water consumption, utilization practices, the CAP, the knowledge, attitude, and practices of people towards water resource management, the household survey was conducted. And the survey covered all the 6 barangays in the municipality through stratified random sampling method, which were computed using Cochrane. Key informant interview was facilitated to representatives from the local government units, private organization, people's organization, and other stakeholders concerning the area to assess the management schemes of water service provision in the municipality. And for the FGD, or the focus group discussion, we did community resource mapping and SWOT strength, weaknesses, opportunities, stress, or challenges to stakeholders from the LGU, private organization, and civil society organizations. This table shows the sample size for the survey, wherein a total of 354 households were surveyed from the 6 barangays in Basco. So let's now proceed with the results and highlights of the study. I will just quickly present the socio-demographic and socioeconomic information of our respondents. So most of our respondents are female, where majority are aged 40 to 49, and most of them are married. Majority of them have completed their college education, and less than a quarter acquired at least college education or undergraduates. The average household size of Basco is 4, wherein majority of them are Ibatans. Ibatans are identified as one of the indigenous peoples in the northern part of Luzon, wherein they comprise 84% of the total population in Basco. Most of them are residing in the municipality for almost 3 decades. And according to their comprehensive land use plan, about 9% of the population are migrants attributed to employment and access to tertiary education. The major occupation of the respondents is mostly those in hotels and resorts as staff, laborers, and construction workers, while a substantial number are working as government employees. Some households with secondary income come from farming. Majority of them are above the Philippine Statistical Authority's data on the Philippine poverty thresholds, wherein about 85% have a monthly income that ranges from 5,000 to 9,999, and a substantial 27% whose income range from 10,000 to 20,000 per month, comprising almost 50% of the total respondents. So this map is our community resource map, which shows wherein stakeholders situated the available sources, the watershed boundaries, land use, and the existing institutional establishment. So this map was also validated. The map represents the location of available water sources in the municipality. Existing land uses and establishments are also integrated, and majority of the area is open forest and grassland. And built-up areas are concentrated in poblacion, wherein it is comprised of the commercial establishments such as but not limited to hotels, resorts, and institutions such as schools, church, municipal hall, barangay or halls, and other social services facilities. The household uses water for various purposes. So some of them are for drinking, cooking, and basic hygiene. And for this study, different sources of water were assessed. So it includes yung water coming from the Basco waterworks systems, deep wells, rainwater, and refilling stations in Basco, wherein a household mostly rely on the Basco waterworks systems for general use, while for drinking, majority of them get water from refilling stations. And as part of water, health, and sanitation or WASH assessment, issues pertaining to the water and health-related incidences were also identified. And data revealed that exposure to contaminated supply of water caused by various health-related incidences in the municipality shows that diarrhea was identified as the most water-related disease in the area, followed by stomach pain, dengue, and dehydration, respectively. And these health risk incidences either occurred at different years or in other experienced annually by the household. So dengue is a recurring illness in Basco observed from 2009 up to 2018. And dengue outbreak was prominent in the municipality of Basco and Itbayat during our project duration way back in 2019. And Batanes, as we all know, is one of the typhoon hotspots in the Philippines, and one of the strongest typhoons that was experienced by the municipality is the Typhoon Ferdy that occurred in 2016. So in this graph, data showed that these calamities resulted to lack of power and water supply across the province of Batanes, which augment conditions for the occurrence of diarrhea and dengue. In relation to the previous slide, the respondents were also asked of their perception on water supply. This part is divided into issues pertaining to quantity and quality of water, such as lack of water supply, oversupply of water, and degraded quality of water. Wherein typhoon occurrence is the most recognized cause of these issues in the area, resulting to inadequate and oversupply and water quality degradation. As I've said, the area is one of the hard-hit areas in terms of typhoons. So if there is no power, water is being interrupted during typhoon seasons. We also tried to project the supply and demand of water in Basco. However, projections are solely based from the recent number of consumers, not considering other factors such as level of urbanization, development patterns, and other demographic attributes. And while increasing population and economic growth would also mean, of course, growing demand for water, for drinking and domestic purposes, and for indirectly use such as food production. And by 2030, household population of the municipality is projected to increase 9 times higher than the current number, or higher than in 2019. We also projected the water consumption of consumers at the minimum, average, and maximum uses versus the actual water supply. So for the first scenario used, it is the projection of actual water supply in the municipality with 100,274.86 cubic meter per month calculated volume based on flow rate. And from the results, the first assumption indicates that assuming that there is minimum water demand, the overall demand will exceed the actual water supply by 2029. While using the business as usual assumption or the average, the actual water demand has an exceedance of 11.30% for year 2020, which is very evident in the figure. And in 2019, the total demand for domestic sector exceeded in this year, indicating approximately 60% water shortage in the municipality. In relation to the previous data presented, respondents were also asked on their knowledge and awareness on the existing initiatives related to the water supply provision and management, given the several issues in Basco, and it is summarized as follows. So they are aware that there is a development of Mount Iraya water system. There is a provision of emergency funds by the MDRRMO. There is also IEC campaigns to schools and communities, especially during calamities, through a community roving or a radio announcement. They also inform on the institutionalization of the BEAT or the Basco Emergency Action Team, and tree planting activities are also being done to restore the Mount Iraya watershed. There are also coastal cleanup drives every quarter, every after calamities, and water conservation policy is also implemented by hospitals in the municipality. SWOT analysis was used to determine the positive and negative internal and external factors. So this SWOT analysis just we just want to summarize the strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats when it comes to water resource management in the municipality. So this shows that strengths in Basco include the abundance of water sources, institutionalization of LGU-run water service or the Basco Water Work System, that addresses issues on water supply and delivery services, and challenges internal to the municipality also reflected in the surveys are power interruption causing unavailability of water, and identified weaknesses and or the limitations of the water service provider are lack of funds for maintenance and lack of capacity and funds for groundwater monitoring. While for the opportunities, there are financial assistance received from the government agencies for the improvement of their system. However, some threats or we can call it challenges that limit the water supply for the residents in the area are typhoons and landslide occurrences. So similarly, increasing number of tourists also cause competition on Basco's limited water supply. So to summarize and conclude my presentation, research reveals that water resource management and supply provision in Basco is spearheaded by the LGU. So they are responsible in planning and effective management of water supply services to address the needs of the community. And drinking water is usually sourced from refilling stations and other domestic uses, mainly from the water for this LGU runs provider. Attitude and awareness towards water-related issues shows the root cause of water-related issues in the municipality. And these issues may pose threats to the quality and quantity of water resources if management systems will not be established. And these are exacerbated, of course, by the pressure brought about by natural hazards, since the province is highly susceptible to typhoons, floods, landslide, earthquake, among others. And The team has the following recommendations for the water service management in Basco. So maintenance of water service facilities through regular cleaning, monitoring, changing of old pipes and immediate repair of damaged pipes, and regular water treatment, improvement and intensification of rainwater harvesting, water supply and demand management in relation to population growth, climate change, influx of tourism, strengthening and intensification of the implementation of related policies and programs, and of course, installation and maintenance of water-related monitoring system and infrastructures to other river systems in Basco. And here are some of the references I used for the study and the various agencies that made this study possible. This research output was part of the project Hydrogeological Assessment of Mount Irea Watershed in Basco, Batanes, funded by the Forest Foundation Philippines, and implemented by the UPLB Foundation Incorporated through the UPLB Interdisciplinary Studies Center for Water. And the researchers are grateful to the funder, researcher partners, such as LGU, Basco, and locals for their assistance and participation during the conduct of the study. And that ends my presentation. Thank you very much for listening.